So the question is, are the ARK ETFs the very best aggressive growth product out there? I contend that they might just be. But I think there's a lot of investors out there that are seeking exposure to the ARK ETFs, and they may be doing so in the wrong manner. They may be over allocating. They may be just trying to pick one. In this video, I'm going to provide to you guys how I seek my exposure to the ARK ETFs. So very, very unique. I'm able to invest in all five. I'm able to control the allocation to each of the ARK ETFs, get exposure to that managed disruptive technology that everybody wants access to, and doing so through the power and technology of M1 Finance. You guys are going to want to stick around and understand how I seek out my unique exposure to the ARK ETFs. Okay, guys, so it's time to do another portfolio review. I roll these out periodically so people can really understand the golden four questions in investing: where to invest, why to invest, how to invest. In this video, I'm going to talk you through the performance of the ARK ETFs, which is going to explain what to invest in. I know there's a lot of investors out there probably seeking out their opportunity in a lot of different ways. This is just a couple-minute video that I'll put through YouTube so you can tune in and understand why I engage in this line of investing as part of my total portfolio. This has performed quite nicely. We're sitting at about just over 13 in this portfolio. This was one that I started to prove to new investors that you could get up to that first 10,000. I've strategically funded this over time as indicated by the graph. You can see here this downtrending line. This was actually the pandemic low on around the end of March 20th or so is where the market kind of bottomed. And it's been kind of on an uptrend ever since. Okay, now this portfolio was originally built with 12 aggressive growth stocks. I trimmed that back to 11. And just at the end of 2020, I leveraged the profit that I had made there, about a $5,000 bill, into establishing this strategic move in ARK ETFs. Why did I do that? I wanted to continue with the aggressive growth theme in this portfolio, yes. However, with ARK ETFs, you get a little bit of a strategic angle. Number one, this is managed. And so for a relatively small expense ratio, you can have the professionals looking to grab yourself disruptive technology in each of these categories. And you might be thinking, okay, well, which one do I buy? These are the 5 ETFs that I found were the active ETFs with ARK. ARK does have other products. I know they've just come out with a new one, ARKX. I have not looked at that. It's more the space exploration of things. And we may add this to the portfolio. That's fine. It wasn't out at the time I was looking at their managed ETFs. It was just the 5 that I'll declare to you here. But I think this is a great way of seeking aggressive growth. Now, the younger you are and the more risk that you're able to take on, the ARK ETF can really fit that bill. ARK ETFs will pay a small dividend. That's important to note. I've already rendered 141.07. It is important to note here that I've only owned these ARK ETFs for about just over 2 weeks. And when I started, I took a little hiccup in this portfolio, and they have all come back to get right back in the green. These ARK ETFs are not for the faint of heart. These do have some pretty violent price moves. You need to understand that before you get involved with these. And please understand that this 13,000 here represents about 2.8% of my total overall portfolio. So before you guys just go out and jump off a cliff and put your entire life savings into these ARK ETFs, please understand that this is a strategic vein in my portfolio that I'm looking to exploit. Grab some aggressive growth exposure, yes, but doing so in a way that allows this to be passive, yes, but professionally managed as well. All right. So if these things do take a severe hiccup and maybe take a 50% retracement, I'll be able to really aggressively fund these up over time, because my strategic goal here is to hold these for the long term. I really think that's the only way that you can invest in these correctly and really expect to get the maximum bang for your buck over time. As you can see here, I invest in M1 Finance. This is where I invest. This allows me to do a couple strategic things, and I'll scroll down here and I'll show you what I mean by this. M1 Finance allows me to go in here and set a strategic target, okay? The strategic target in each of these ARK ETFs is 45 in the flagship ARKK, and then next the ARKG, which is my favorite of the group. I just feel like this has a little bit more of a niche-y feel to it, a little bit more on the edgy, very, very acute area of the market in biopharma. So very, very specific. So that's why I took the allocation back to about 20% here. And then finally with the ARKW, ARKQ, and ARKF, those allocations here you can see. Now, obviously, the whole takeaway here isn't to just carbon copy, cookie cutter what Ryan's doing here and just, if it makes sense to you, absolutely you can do this. I share this portfolio in the comments section of all of my videos, as well as in the description of all my videos. So you can grab it free of charge. There's no charge for you to go in there and take a look-see at this allocation. The whole point here is to provide individuals options, or to outline the freedom and flexibility they have to set their own allocation. If you feel like, you know, this allocation doesn't work for you, it's 100% changeable, and you can go in here and adjust this as appropriate. But make no mistake, you are in fact invested in all 5 of the managed ARK ETFs here. So not going to get too crazy on this. This is really just an update here. It's gone crazy. I think for new investors that are young and they're seeking that aggressive aspect, I think this is a great tool. And I want each and every investor to understand that products like this are just tools, okay? They're not going to get you to your goals overnight. But the idea is you put a nice strategic basket of these tools, good quality stocks, good quality ETFs, into an investing program as early as you can in life, the better off that you'll be. And that's really why we roll these videos out, for awareness purposes, to give you the where, what, when, why, and how of how you can start earlier on in life if you didn't have this prior knowledge to understand where to start in your investing journey. Guys, thank you so much. We'll conclude the video and kick you back to YouTube. All right, guys, hope you appreciate this rollout of the ARK ETF portfolio. This is just how I seek my exposure. Obviously, I share these portfolios with anybody interested. You can kick over and check that out if you didn't catch them during or didn't jot them down. I provide that for you guys to use. It's your discretion. Adjust to your liking. That's the whole point of this, is to provide awareness to those products out there that you can guys enter into, especially if you're a younger investor and need some aggressive growth in the portfolio. This is an optimal way of doing so. Guys, as usual, you want to subscribe to the message, leave your comments at the bottom of the video, and share the message with anybody out there that you know. Bring them onto the community of empowered, self-directed investors that we're building here on the Independent Investor channel. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the message, and good luck in your investment future.